In this day and age, it's more important now than ever to encourage self-acceptance, especially in children. Now, Brown Boy, Brown Girl Publishing's mission is to empower and inspire children of color through reading and storytelling. Joining us this morning are the founders and power couple, Teresa and David Baker. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Happy New Year.
Oh, thank you so much. Let's turn the corner on 2020. Let's make this one even better, right?
Yes, sir.
Brown Boy, Brown Girl. This publishing. Can you tell us a little bit about the history, what it is?
Sure. Yeah, so Brown Boy, Brown Girl is a multi-media, multicultural children's publishing company. I first started the company for our children back in 2015, who are now 6, 7, and 8 years old. And as you have already stated, our mission is to empower and inspire brown boys and brown girls and children through reading, writing, and entrepreneurship. So we have many different components to Brown Boy, Brown Girl. So, and that's essentially what Brown Boy, Brown Girl is. We wanted to streamline positive images of brown boys and girls for not only their counterparts, but also for themselves too. We want them to have the highest esteem about themselves.
So the inspiration behind the brand, really your own children, and I'm sure that you saw a need out there, right?
Yeah, so the inspiration behind the brand actually took place, during the Trayvon Martin incident, the Mike Brown incident, and then, really too, my 3 children, but also, look at my husband as well. Here he is, he works for corporate America, great husband, provides well for our family. And just the very thought that if he were pulled over by the wrong officer, how his life could be reduced in just a matter of seconds. And so that's always something that startles me. And also, when I think about my children and how they're going to be perceived as they grow older. And so what can we do to help change the narrative is the thought process behind that. And so what we decided to do is, come out with children's books that have characters of color. And then more recently, we work now to diversify educational materials. And so we have notebooks that have children of color on them. We won't show you all of them, but and they have, some sentiments on there, affirmations, gifted and unstoppable. We want these children to know that they are gifted and unstoppable. And then, what we really need right now is love, peace, harmony, kindness.
Yes.
And, friends, right? So we have this We Are One notebook that really does promote that, because as we see now in current events, it's so needed to have brands like Brown Boy, Brown Girl to really promote and push an agenda that that really shines brightly on children of color, to really put out a positive image.
And what is?
And I'm a byproduct of Focus Hope. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, but we were all born in Ann Arbor. Strong ties to the community in Detroit, and so social action, community service are key and core around what we do, right? And so we started Brown Boy, Brown Girl as an opportunity for us to foster entrepreneurship amongst our children. Mm-hmm. And then over the years, it's pivoted into what it is and what you see today, a multimedia publishing company. My wife's background is lobbying in Lansing, and so she took a lot of her skills and her creativity, and she's created this Brown Boy, Brown Girl. I've been pretty much primary support for my wife and her vision and our vision for our children, right? And so, like I said, I grew up in Portland. It's not necessarily the most diverse place, especially back in the 80s, early 90s. And so, I wanted to make sure that my kids are exposed to different types of peoples and cultures at an early age. And then, but more importantly, what my wife said about the Trayvon Martin situation, we want to make sure that we're providing positive images to children that may or may not typically see other children of color. And that holds true into the Black community as well, may not see other races. And so we want to make sure that we're exposing people to things that may not be exposed to them with their peers and or in their current demographic, right?
Environment.
What's the end mission for Brown Boy, Brown Girl's effect on society and the culture?
One thing is for certain, why I really wanted to start the multimedia publishing company is to foster reading, right? Because that's going to help propel you in life. You have to learn how to read so that you know what's going on, so that you can always have a seat at the table and be prepared and have this knowledge. And so, and that's one of the things that we want to instill, within our community. We want, others who may not look like us to still look at us and be okay, to see us for who we are, and to acknowledge us, and not be, this upset and still have these stereotypical outlooks or views on people who don't look like them. And so that's what we're trying to knock down. We're trying to knock that stereotype down.
Well, Teresa, David, thank you so much for the time this morning, first off, and for the work that you've done. I love that book, by the way, The Struggle, for four girls, one bathroom.
Thank you.
Yeah, I grew up with three older sisters in one bathroom, so I know that struggle. I know that struggle.
The struggle's real, sir.
But I want to say now that book is not a book that we published, and so let's just talk about the other part of that. So because our mission is to empower and inspire boys and girls through reading entrepreneurship, what we have done is extend our platform to young authors. And so that struggle book and the struggle series that you see is actually written by 4 teenage sisters. And so we buy their books and then we sell the books on our platform, again, to foster entrepreneurship among young people.
Junior CEOs, as we call them.
I love that. That's fantastic. Have a whole nother generation of authors coming up. Thanks again for the time, guys. Appreciate it. Teresa and David.
Thank you.
Learn more at brownboybrowngirl.com. You can follow them on social media as well.